Hey everybody, this is Kane6989 coming at you through the internet. And normally I play video games on this channel, but I just wanted to take a second to go ahead and just remind everybody that this coming holiday season, you know, there are a lot of us out there that actually, we're lucky enough to have homes and we're lucky enough to have homes and friends and family, in times like this, but this is usually the time of year that a lot of people want to go and, just want to end all things. And I know that's starting off on a really bad note here, but I have a point to make with all this. When it comes down to it, a lot of us want to be able to help, but not many of us actually do. They offer things like soup kitchens and, shelters, and places where that are funded by the church, typically, that try to help people who really want to get back up on their feet. And for a long time, I guess I'm going to go ahead and explain a little bit about myself, because I haven't really explained it much on my channel, but I did want to go ahead and let everybody know a little bit about myself. I actually live in South Carolina. I have lived in South Carolina my whole life, and my whole life's basically been a whole, moving from place to place to place to place. Even when I was a kid with my mom, I was born up in Minnesota, and I was born in Minnesota, and me with my mom, my dad, my older brother, and my older sister, and I was born up there, but I lived most of my life down here. I came down here when I wasn't even a year old, and my mom and my dad, they were really great together, but my dad had a history of, wanting to drink a lot, and, he took it out on my mom a lot. He got to a point where he drank all the time. She even told me herself that, he was the sweetest man ever, and she loved him for it. But when it actually came down to, when he would start drinking, he would become abusive and brutal, and there was even a point that he almost threw my older brother out the window when he was younger. But the point is, it got to a point where my mom actually decided to take me, my brother, and my sister, and move us down here. And I moved down with my grandmother first on a plane, and then my mom drove down with my brother and my sister. And we've lived down here all our lives. But being as my parents were separated and my dad didn't pay child support like he was supposed to, we moved around a lot. We moved from trailers to houses. My mom worked 3 jobs. I almost never got to see her, and that was basically what my life was. I couldn't really stay in one place for very long. It made it really hard for me to make friends, and by the time I was 18 years old, my mom had remarried, and the husband was my stepdad. He was a big computer gamer, and I liked that about him. And he did start me off on a few things, with wanting to go into the computer industry, and wanting to learn more about building computers, because that was my passion. Not really so much programming or building video games. It was really just a matter of, my goal was I wanted to actually build the hardware. Which, when I think about it, it probably doesn't mean that much to you guys. I don't know if you share the same passion. You probably don't. But I'm getting off topic. Anyway, by the time I was 19 years old, my mom had passed away. She had an aneurysm, and at that point, I went into a real bad depression, and it wasn't my first time around. When I was 6 years old, my dad had actually passed away, and actually I was 7 years old. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to remember things like this. It does affect me when I really think about it, but I wanted to go ahead and make this clear. And when I was 7 years old, my dad passed away of cirrhosis of the liver. He got to a point where he actually had been drinking so much that he started to. Well, I'm not going to get into the graphics with you, but there were things that were left in the toilet that shouldn't have been there. Things that were red, and I got to see my dad one time, and it was a few weeks before he died. Before I found out he died, he came down, and my mom had allowed us to, stay with him that weekend while he stayed in a Super 8 motel, and it was the only time I actually got to meet my dad. I actually felt like I got to know him because it was very brief, and I got to go swimming with him. And I feel like it was the first time he actually really got to see me, because my mom was still pregnant with me when we left. I mean, I had just been born, but I'm a little hazy on the details, but I believe, I had just been born, and my dad hadn't really got to, really spend time with me that much. And at that point, my dad was starting to sober up most of the time, and, he seemed really sweet. And I admit, guys, I only got to know him for that one time, but I really loved him. And anyway, when I found out he died, I didn't know how to react to it. I was still really young, and it didn't really start hitting me until later. And I got to a point where I suddenly got really depressed several weeks after the funeral, when it really started to hit me, I guess, on the inside. And I realized I'd lost my dad. I got to know him one time, and after that he was gone. And it doesn't mean much, but I do thank God that I even got to know him that one time before he'd be gone. And I had to go through that all over again when my mom died. When she passed away, and I didn't get to really know. I mean, I knew my mom a lot better, and that affected me for 3 months. 3 months after the funeral, I had been set up to go to ITT Tech, which is a really hands-on computer school. My mom was helping set that up for me, and I was really psyched about it. I was really happy, and then when she died, I lost interest in it. It didn't mean anything to me anymore. I dropped it all together, and I was for 3 months. I didn't do anything but just lay in front of the fireplace. I felt like something was missing, like something was wrong, and I moved in with a new girlfriend because I met her shortly after, and she did cheer me up, and I finally gotten the courage to go out and get another job again. My stepdad needed help with the bills. We had just gotten to a house, and we were paying at least $1,000 to $1,500 on it each month, between rent and utilities and everything. And my stepdad couldn't hold it together. We relied on my mom's income for her job, and it didn't work out that way. But I gotten the courage up to get another job, and right when I got it, my stepdad said I had to move out. Said that my sister and my brother-in-law were going to be moving in to take my place and help keep the bills, because obviously I couldn't do it, even though I'd just gotten a job. But anyway, I moved out, and I moved into a rat-infested trailer. It was falling apart, and I lived there for 6 months. Before me and my girlfriend moved out, it was her dad's trailer. We moved out of it into a place with my boss that I was working with at the time, and my girlfriend had gotten a job taking care of, his kids. Well, when me and her fell apart, that complicated things. I moved in with my grandmother. I didn't have anywhere to go at that point, I mean, I was still working the job, but I eventually lost that and was trying to go full-time through school. And You know, I was really depressed over losing my girlfriend at the time too, because she had brought me back from the brink, and now I felt like I was going back to that brink again for the third time. And my grandmother encouraged me to get back into school. It was only tech school, it wasn't much, and you know, to be honest, I don't feel like the credits really counted for it, but I went in and, you know, I was there, went through my first semester. My second semester, she decided to kick me out because of some threat that my brother made. I don't even know what it was. Something about, I don't know. She and my brother weren't getting along at the time, and she knew how close I was with my brother, and I guess she felt scared or something, and told me I had to leave, and I went to go stay with my sister for a while, and I had started working another job, and I got let go from that around Christmas time, and that's part of the reason why I'm making this video like I am. And she gave me a choice whether to either pay rent or pay my car insurance, which I did need to have it insured. I mean, I didn't have a choice. I had to keep it insured so I could look for another job. And when I did that, she ended up booting me out, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, I lived in my car for 6 months. I went through a really tough time, and not a lot of people go through that. And I'm not gonna get into specifics, but I moved back into my car 2 more times after that. I kept looking for opportunity to try and get myself back stable, and I mean, nothing I tried worked. I mean, I went between working part-time jobs to multiple part-time jobs to a full-time job, and I even had a point where I'd moved into my own trailer at one point, and 2 months later I'd lost my job, my salary job full-time that was paying for it, and it was installing alarm systems, and I was really good at the job. I mean, I'd started driving my own truck, was all ready to do my own installs, and then my boss told me he had to start making cutbacks, and because I was the lowest one on the totem pole, he let me go, and I lost my trailer. I was left homeless again, and had to move in with one of my friends in their junky trailer, and it wasn't a good part of my life, guys, and I don't think I would have even made it that far, but luckily at that time I had actually met my fiance today. I met my fiance at that point, and guys, she really saved me. She actually really, really saved that part of me that I needed to keep going, because I didn't think I was ever going to be able to do it. Well, it came down to it. I had to move back into my car one more time because my friend and his jerky roommates decided to make me leave because I didn't agree with their lives of doing drugs and, you know, drinking all the time, and, you know, they wouldn't give me the time and place or the respect, you know, because I would go and I would do chores for them. I'd pay a little bit into the bills, you know, just because they were willing to let me sleep on a couch. And it wasn't comfortable, and I hated it. My girlfriend hated that I was living that way, but I had an opportunity, and I ended up going to stay with my brother. He helped me get the job I'm working right now. That's the majority of my income, and me and him got into a fight last Christmas, and it was a fist fight. Things got broken, and you know, there were marks left on both of us. I decided at that point it was time for me to leave and try to move into a place where I could really build up. And I moved into a place that has a program that allows me to build myself up, you know, gives me a room, a place to sleep, and I've got Wi-Fi. And I realized the past few years I've been watching YouTube a lot and learning from other YouTubers, you know, how they do what they do, and, you know, taking the time to meet a lot of other people like Boogie2988, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Matt Pat from Game Theory, the Gaming Lemon, and Pro Jared. Just all these YouTubers, all of them, and they've all taken the time to explain to their fans, you know, that without them every day, I mean, they are what the channels are for. And even though I just started this channel, I've only had it up maybe a week or two now. I feel like you guys would actually get to know, might actually, you know, give me more of a chance on here if I go and I tell you what it was like for me and why I'm doing this, why I'm doing this channel. And you know, I know I'm not going to be anywhere as big as they are. I mean, I would love to be. I would love to be able to have what they have, but that's what they worked for, and this is what I'm working for. And I want you guys to know that I'm not here, you know, to make money. I'm not here to, you know, mess around, and I want to actually make these videos. I like making these videos. Just like I like playing video games. I mean, it's just something it's something, you know, I could put together, and it's something that I like to do that's fun every day of my life. I come home from working my day job, and you know, I start making these videos. I record new video games. I put up content for you guys to see that I think you'd want to see. If you just want to know about a game, or, you know, learn more about it, or even learn about consoles. I mean, I plan on expanding this channel into as much as I can possibly make out of it. That's why I always ask you guys, as much as possible, to tell me what it is you want to see. I'll do my best with getting up things that I hope you'll like, but it really comes down to what you guys want to see. I will provide to you if I can. And this channel is for you guys. It always has been, and it always will be. And I'm going to stand on that. I'm going to stand on that from this point on. And since I've been living here, I've lived here about a year now. And it's made me come up to realize that everything that you get in life, you have to work for in one way or another. I've seen the darkest parts that I could have ever seen in my life. I don't ever want to go back to living them. I don't want to ever go back to experiencing them. I want to build a life with my fiance and build a family. And I realize I don't have my parents to fall back on. And God bless my fiance's parents. They've taken me in as their child already. And I really appreciate that. You know, that they give me the love that, you know, my mother and father would have given me. And if it wasn't for my fiance, I'm not sure I would have even had the courage to, you know, try to pursue this career, because she pushes me every day. She pushes me every day to make sure I do my best. I go to work. I make sure I keep my bills paid, you know, I'm stable, I think ahead, and I do something that I enjoy. And I mean, just tonight when I was coming home from work, she actually had asked me to come by her place, and she'd already had dinner, she had dinner waiting for me. I hadn't eaten anything all day, except for munching on like junk food. And that's another thing, she really wants to make sure I'm healthy. I went so long, you know, not exercising and, you know, not eating right, that I was gaining weight and I was getting unhealthy. I felt miserable. And she's really, really turning my life around, and she has been for the last few years, little by little. And I mean, I thank her so much for that. But the point I was getting at with this whole video is that this coming season, because I've been in the same boat, and a lot of you probably have been too, when it gets down to it, we need to try and give back. Whenever we have something that we can give, we need to give it back. You know, even if it's just giving some change or a couple dollars to somebody on the street, or, you know, if you see somebody that's starving, go into a McDonald's or something and just get them a $1 burger. I know McDonald's offers those. There was a point I was homeless that I was just basically staying in a McDonald's where my dead car was parked out in the parking lot. And I would go in, get on my laptop all day long looking for jobs and, you know, keep in contact with people on Facebook. There was even a point I'd had a few people who I guess had seen me in there enough would go and just throw a $5 bill down in front of me. And I'd ask them what it was for, and they'd say, just take it. It's people like that, and you don't take that as a sign of pity. You take that as they want to help. They want to do something to feel like they helped you. So guys, if somebody comes up to you and does something for you, don't take that as they pity you. Take that as a sign that, you know, they want to see you succeed. They want to see you be stable. Not a lot of people out there are like that. And I realized that the hard way. Don't feel like you're alone in this world. Don't feel like you don't have anything to live for. There's always going to be someone out there, something out there, that's going to keep you waking up every day, getting dressed, and going out into the world to see what it's got to throw at you. And every challenge you come back home from makes you stronger. It always will, and it always has, and it always will. I've been here a year now, and I'm doing really well. I've got myself a new car because my last one had broken down. I got the laptop that I'm using for the YouTube channel. I got a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation camera to record my gameplay videos. I know my next step is going to be getting a house with my fiance. And she's doing really well too. She started off staying at home too, and now she's in college working towards being an EKG specialist, a nurse in the hospital. She's been through 3 college courses and she's excelling in all of them, and I'm so proud of her. And I'm hoping that just like how her career is going to take off, I'm hopefully that my YouTube career is going to take off as well. But I know there's only so much I can do. A lot of that comes up to you guys. And if there's anything you guys want to see, anything you guys want me to do for you, I will be glad to do it. I may even surprise you guys here and there. And the video gaming is something that I love to do as a hobby, and I will continue to do it for you guys as long as you'll keep watching. I may not know any of you guys, but I know more than likely if I saw any of you guys on the street, or, you know, with your car broken down, or, you know, if, you know, somebody was trying to hurt you, I wouldn't even know you, but I know I would still go to help. And I want you guys to know that. It's the risks that you don't take in life that are the ones you regret. And I'm hoping that this is a risk that, you know, I'm hoping this is a risk that will actually work out. I love all you guys so very much. And as always, I will see you in the next video. And on one last note before I end this, Christmas is coming up, guys. if any of you are having any kind of disputes or fights with family, friends, parents, brothers, sisters, really think about how your life would be without them. If just out of nowhere you just lost them, like I lost my parents. Wouldn't you want to actually go back and be able to tell them that you loved them before they were gone? There's not a day that goes by that I don't miss my mom and my dad. I don't usually let it show. I'm usually a very happy, cheery person, and I mean, this is just how my life's been, and I've had to roll with the punches. That's what my mom always told me, just keep rolling with the punches. This holiday season, make sure you spend time with your families, your friends. Make sure they know that you love them. Make sure to know that they love you, because you never know when it could be their last Christmas, their last birthday. You never know when it could be their last moment or your last moment. Take the time to spend with your families and appreciate them, because they're the only ones that you've got. Thanks everybody so much for watching. And this is Kane6989 signing out. Bye-bye.